All right, let's put it on pause. Resume recording. Okay, here we go. It's 2 o'clock. We did it. Driving live. Tuesdays at 2. We are online. We are in the car, not driving, not moving, and not sweltering. Although the car says it's 103 degrees out there. We know that it really isn't. Anyway, okay, so that's surprising. We got that all worked out. We're here. I'm going to check my notes. They're not on the computer this time. Welcome to Thriving Live. If you're tuning in live on Facebook, say hello. It was so much fun having people on the call live last time. So if you are watching live, pop a note or a wave or something in the chat, and I will hopefully get to see you and say hi. So that's exciting. So I'm also squishing down my window so I can see if you write anything to me. And I hope the sound is good. And I hope you're doing well. Okay, so we are doing Thriving Live Tuesday, August 9th, 2022. It's 2:01 and this is the 21st episode. Woo! Number 21. It's very exciting. Yeah, so I'm sticking with it. And who knows what's going to happen in the future with it, if I'll change it up and we'll turn it into something else. But so far, I really like having a weekly commitment to show up and be here with you live. And for those of you who are watching later on YouTube or wherever you're watching it, checking in later. So yeah, so where am I? I am outside of Boston, and we're coming to you live from Beantown today. I came out here with my lover who was having day surgery. He's already out. Here he is. Yeah, Dad. Doesn't he look like such a happy person who just came out of surgery? It's so wild. Anyway, it was super easy and fast, and here we are. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so pleasure first. As you know, I always start with pleasure first. And today I thought I would do the pleasure practice that I did with Dan in the pre-op room, where I invited him to relax and touch into some pleasure and some feel-good sensations so that he could really connect with that before going into surgery. And so we'll do that. We'll do that. And you're welcome to join along if you'd like to. I'm gonna rearrange myself because I like to sit cross-legged. And I'm in the driver's seat, not driving obviously, but still. Dan tried to convince me to change seats with him and I was being oppositional.
What? What?
Oppositional.
What?
Never, not me. So I was leading Dan through this last time, so I didn't really do it. So I could use it. So what we did, and Dan, if you'd like to join us, you may, of course. Basically, it's just taking some long, slow, deep breaths, which I almost always start with. And I like to do 4 beats inhale through the nose and 6 beats exhale through the mouth. And sometimes I lose count and I'm not counting it as 4 and 6. I do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are the exhales. So I may just do that. I'll do a few of those. I feel a sneeze coming on, so maybe the sneeze will happen in the middle of it. Who knows? It's all welcome. Okay, so are you ready? I'm ready. So we're gonna go inhale. Exhale. Now just keep going at your own pace for a little bit. Excuse me. So as you continue breathing, on your inhales, allow your pelvic floor to be relaxed, and on your exhales, contract it tight. Release on your inhale. Contract on the exhale. Release on the inhale. A contraction is like trying to keep yourself from peeing. And then just release. So continue with that for a couple more breaths. And now do the opposite, which is contract on the inhale and release on the exhale. That one sort of is more intuitively in sync for me. So that one's a little bit easier than the other one. So here we go. Contract on the inhale. Release on the exhale. Contract on the inhale. Release on the exhale. Contract on the inhale. And now notice with your normal breathing as you continue, where in your body you can notice some feel-good sensations. It's possible that something got activated in the pelvic region from the contractions and releases. For me, I can feel the muscles kind of, if they were weeds in the ocean or something, seaweed, they would be dancing in the water like, ooh, that felt so nice. So that's what I'm going to focus on. The feel good spot in your body, someplace. It could be a tiny, tiny, tiny thing, or it could be something that's really activated, something pleasant. That's what we're going for. And we're just paying attention to it, seeing it in our mind's eye and feeling its qualities. And expanding it with your breath. And make it bigger on the inhale if that works better for you. And let it take up more space in your body. You might find that instead of it getting bigger like a balloon or, something, an orb that is sort of localized but getting bigger, it might be something like what Dan described today in the pre-op room, which is like popcorn sensations all over his body. So like the pleasant feeling was multiplying and showing up in different regions of his body. So maybe you're having a popcorn pleasure orgasm throughout your body. Maybe it's not a full-on orgasm. Maybe it's just a like delightful little like, whoa, feels so good. So stay with that, however it's showing up, and really enjoy and savor it. See if you can make it even fuller. Now imagine like from that place of pleasure, imagine what's possible for you that could make it even more pleasurable. What could bring you even more pleasure right now? It could be an activity, or it could be just allowing your mind to continue to rest and relax and kind of like watching clouds go by in the sky. Or if there is something that you want to do next in your day when you leave this session, imagine what going into that from this place of calm and relaxation and contentment and pleasure that's been activated. Notice how that impacts your activities moving forward this afternoon or this evening or whenever you're watching this. Notice if there's more ease and joy and comfort in your activities, and compare that with how the same activity might feel on a regular day, not preceded by pleasure. And just notice like the differences of that. So for me, for example, on the ride out here, there was a lot of traffic and I was kind of nervous because the highway was really densely trafficked and moving really fast as it does. And and I was tired and I hadn't had a lot of sleep. And so my experience of the drive was, it was okay. Everything went fine. But it wasn't like easy. And right now I know that my drive, even if we had a 3-hour stop on the highway, because I'm in this state and I'm in a better state now, more relaxed, more at ease, like it's going to be so much more pleasant going home. So what about you? What do you notice when your state changes and you're doing like an activity that you do all the time? Like how does it change based on how you're feeling. So that's that. That's something I'd love for you to think about. And if you do it, I would love for you to mention it in the chat or in the comments section or however that works here or on YouTube, wherever you're seeing it. Now, since I thought I might be doing this Thriving Live show like while Dan was in his recovery for like an extra hour or something, I was imagining I would do, but here he is, look, here he is. Hi.
Very relaxed, but it might be the drugs. And then that breathing pleasure first exercise was really nice.
Just now, this one or the
Yeah,
one
just
before the
the one
operation?
before the operation just got me into such a relaxed and ready state. And I felt like I was at one in peace with my body and with the team that was going to be doing the work. And it's a really nice way to go into the OR.
That's a really nice way. And look, I even wrote that you got relaxed and ready. I chose those same two words. That's so interesting that you said that. So yeah, so you see, like the pleasure first isn't just for fun and kicks. It's actually like really productive and helpful for setting yourself up for a really good outcome. What else? I don't want to be too long because I do want to get this guy back home and get us on the road before it gets crowded. Oh, so yeah, I was going to do a power nap, a self-hypnosis deep rest
Oh, yeah, that's what you said you wanted to do.
demo and guided nap time on Thriving Live. There's something kind of funny about that. But maybe we'll wait for another time on that one. Yeah, we'll wait on that. And I'm feeling very excited and generous, and because there's a lot of really exciting things that are happening with the studio and with coaching stuff, and I can't really talk about it quite yet, but I will as soon as we can. Anyway, I would love to gift a complimentary session to the first 3 people that reach out to me. And you can do that by finding me on Instagram. Believe it or not, I'm trying to remember one of my email addresses for pleasure, morepleasureplease.com. I think it's Gabrielle@morepleasureplease.com. So you can email me and we can set up a free session where you could get some coaching or you can get some guidance through some relaxation and some stress relief, right? Yeah, for free. And I would love to do that. And of course, you can leave a message here in the comments or reach out to me on Messenger here on Facebook or even YouTube, I suppose. So I think that's going to be it for today. Actually, I'm going to cut it short, and I'd really love to hear about your wins or insights or learnings from this mini session today. I'd also love to know what you desire and what effect this work has been for you if you've been trying it out. There was something else, but it's not coming to me right now. I can't think of it. Maybe Dan has something to add to. Do you have any wins, insights, or learnings from today, Dan?
Well, I noticed that because we're in another class together and we were talking about resistance the other day. And I noticed that they suggested that that resistance shows up in funny ways, and one of the first things you can do is identify it, name it as resistance. So
Right.
even though I know pleasure first techniques and self-hypnosis techniques, I was sitting in the hospital bed in pre-op waiting, and I'm like thinking about things, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm not doing breathing. I'm not just like, wait, why don't I just breathe? Why don't I talk to myself? Why don't I have a conversation and set some intentions? I
Mm,
wasn't doing any of those things, and all of a sudden I said, oh, wait, I'm doing a bunch of different things, like other than a thing I know how to do, or that's, I don't know, urgent and timely and it's strategically important to do.
But you're choosing to do other things instead, you
But I'm
mean?
doing these other things, so choice would be an interesting word there, whether I was choosing or not. So anyway, what I said to myself was, all of a sudden I went, oh, this thing I'm doing where I'm flitting from thought to thought and not just taking the time to breathe, that's resistance.
Hmm.
What am I resisting? Oh, I'm resisting just dropping into what's about to happen to me, which is somebody go get
Mhm.
cut open on the table. It's just a minor hernia repair. And oh, well, what's behind the resistance? What's the underlying emotion behind it? What's going on? I realized, oh, it's a little bit of fear. What's the fear? Well, things could go wrong.
Hmm.
Or I won't calm myself down sufficiently. And what's behind that? Well, for me, the things go wrong thing is tied to childhood and being yelled at when I didn't do things right.
Hmm. Hmm.
I had great parents. Everything's, I had great parents, but when I did things, my father worked a lot, and when he was home, it often seemed like he was trying to make everything right in the brief amount of times that he was home. So he would do that by correcting the kids,
Uh-huh.
which was usually by um, telling us what we did wrong and what we could do better, and we'd get mini lectures
Scolding.
and scoldings, right? So like that was like behind that was like, I don't want to be scolded, and then I could just go, wait, I'm not a child, my father's not alive,
Hmm.
I can't really do this wrong.
Hmm.
And so it just was a really neat little process where I just recognized that I was experiencing a form of resistance. And then I could just go through what's the emotion underneath it, what's the need underneath that, what can I do that's different? And what I could do that was different was to breathe. And then Gabrielle came in, and then she says, hey, have you done pleasure first today? And led me into that little exercise. And I think the phrase I used was, I was surprised that the first place I noticed that felt pleasant was right near my knee that hurts a lot.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's over like where my knee hurts all the time. But my skin on my thigh just felt really nice. Or something about the blanket and temperature that felt good.
Hmm.
So I expanded that, and then it just kind of expanded. And then it didn't like, sometimes I want pleasure first to be like, oh, I've made this little spot good. Now it's just gonna spread like jelly and cover everything. And it doesn't do that for me.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it just goes to a certain place. But today it popped out, like I was like, oh wait, it feels really good on my head right here. Oh, my shoulder's feeling good. Oh, my chest is feeling good. And it was like I had an outbreak of pleasure.
An outbreak of pleasure. Ooh,
Uh-huh.
what a nice
A
thing.
pleasure outbreak.
Ooh, I want a pleasure outbreak. I love
Yeah.
that.
So it's super sweet.
I
So,
love that. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
and walking through that process of resistance that we were just taught in that
Yeah.
class. And I'm noticing that my resistance comes up around remembering all the steps, right?
Right.
Like even when we were learning them the other day, I wrote them all down, of course. But there was all this like resistance, like, oh, I'm not going to remember that, or oh, it's too many steps, or oh, it's too much work, and all the things. And you just demonstrated it was like so easy peasy. It took like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when they taught it to us, it was first like, what's the underlying emotion? Like, okay, good. And then what's the underlying need? And I was like, oh, needs and emotions. Like, I'm not really that equipped to have that language about those things.
Yeah, you were having that
I
that
did.
kind of
I
thought
had
too.
totally had that thought, like,
That seems like that's beyond me to understand
Right.
naming emotions and
Yeah, don't you
recognizing
need
that
like
and-
Jung or someone in there
Yeah.
to figure that out for you?
Yeah, so, but what really helped was it's like first go, oh, this thing I'm doing, that's resistance, that's the resistance.
Right.
So what's the emotion and what's the need? And guess what else? I could get it wrong. I could get it wrong and it's okay.
It is okay.
And I'm not gonna get scolded for it. And I'll
That's
just
true.
get better at it every time I do it. So it's just name it and then find out what you can find out next. What is the emotion? What is the need? So the
Right,
need,
so it
so I
was,
didn't talk
so
about the need.
notice that
actually.
it's a reason, notice that there's resistance,
Right.
rename the resistance. What's the emotion under it,
And it was fear
right?
of getting scolded, but I didn't actually talk about the need underneath it
Need
was
underneath
for
it.
security and safety.
Right,
Not
yeah,
safety, because I'm not gonna get hurt. I was never hurt.
right.
And sometimes we confuse security and safety, but it was for security.
So were you thinking that you'd be scolded for having done something wrong in preparation for the operation?
Just anything, anytime I have something to do,
Yeah, you think you. might
there's
get
a,
it wrong.
I'm gonna do it wrong, I'm gonna get in trouble.
I almost always think I'm gonna do it wrong, but I don't think I'll get in trouble because there's no one that's gonna scold me
Yeah.
in my life, right?
Right.
But I still have like, oh, I don't really know how to do this. I'm not gonna, there's probably someone that can do that much better than I can, and I wish they were here to do the thing. Which is mainly around all my business stuff, right?
So I'm
So-
gonna do it wrong, so what's the, so that emotion is what, fear? Oh, I heard thunder.
Thunder, yeah,
Fear, so fear would be the emotion, what's the need underneath the emotion? What's the need underneath fear?
I guess the desire that everything will be okay. Like that I can't fuck it up.
So a type of security,
Yeah,
safety, you know? I always
I don't
feel a little
know.
bit funny when mine
feels
come down
weird.
to the same words,
right.
but I think that
Getting
these
it
are our
right.
basic needs.
But how is getting it right like
need.
a need? I guess leading to a sense of comfort, accomplishment, and capability.
What's the consequences of not getting it right? What happens if it's not right?
Maybe you have to pay extra or whatever it is.
Some
You know
sort
what I
of
mean? Like
penalty?
some kind of penalty. Yeah. Not a big penalty, but an inconvenience or it takes longer. Anyway, we're doing this whole session right here live. I wasn't planning on doing that. So your need was for security.
Yeah.
And then what was the next step? So
What can I
name the
do?
resistance.
So I don't
What's the
remember that,
emotion?
as
What's the
you,
need?
I don't remember exactly what they said the next step was, but for me, what I did was, so what could I do about it now?
Mhm.
And that was an easy way to go. Like, oh, I could do the breathing.
Nice.
It's okay to do the breathing.
Yes,
It isn't gonna hurt anybody.
right.
Could make things better.
Could make things better and did it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
That's a constant one. That's a common one for me. I was surprised that it was in something like just prepping myself for surgery. It's the same when I have a work project, whether that work is day job or working on one of the wonderful, amazing projects that we're doing. When I get close to it, I notice a distraction thing.
Mm,
Do 100 things, do 100 things, and stopping and just saying, oh, I can breathe into this. What if I don't do it and I don't do something else? What if I just breathe? And you have that wonderful breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6. I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
so easy.
I can do that when I'm online
Yeah,
at the bank, you
yeah.
know. I can do that when I'm, drinking the coffee or waiting
Right,
for the
or
coffee to be made.
even taking a walk down the street on the way to a meeting or
Yep.
on the way to the bank.
Yep.
Yeah, and I almost always share in here, like on Thriving Live, the surgeons, like when I read about the brain surgeon who's like, I hit a little bit of a concern and I step back for a moment and I just take 1 or 2 of those breaths and then I'm good to go.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
reset. It's
I
a
think my
reset.
surgeon probably did that today because it's like, oh, I can just relax and do this because Dan gave me a small bag of mini Oreos. I get to
Right?
eat those with cold milk after the surgery.
Perfect. That's so perfect. All right, y'all. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you for inviting me in to talk about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And there's more to talk about in the car, I think, if you're up for it.
You're
Dan,
talking
I'm
to them or
talking to
me?
you.
Oh,
Cause I'm
yes.
looking in there and
Yeah.
I can see you, so I'm like talking to you. Anyway, everybody, I love you tons and thanks for bearing with this sort of scattered, unusual thriving live
Inside a car at a cemetery.
from outside of Boston
Yeah, we're in Jamaica Plain.
and just before a
Okay.
big storm is about to hit. So anyway, we'll sign off
Storms,
now.
all the ions are changing.
Yes, maybe we want to go outside and run around oh, you can't run around. Anyway, mwah, I love you all. Take care. Ah.